Seattle and Washington. I'm Dan Power, joined by a very special guest, the poster boy of USA Rugby right now, Lou Stanfield. Thanks for joining us, Lou. How are you enjoying the action so far?
Very much so, Dan. It's been a wonderful day for rugby, a wonderful day for Seattle to be able to host this event. And we have some excellent teams displaying some excellent rugby. We're going to see here Nyack take it to the Austin Blacks, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, obviously both of us very familiar with Nyack, former players in the old Super League for Nyack, the great 2009 Nyack team. Memory serves me correctly, we won the whole thing.
Your memory might be a bit dodgy from a couple of those hits you've taken over the years.
Maybe.
However, I will join you in saying that. We did, however, win in 2012. Unfortunately, we were without the mystical powers of Dan Power.
Here we go. We get back to the action. My head getting too big for the headpiece if Lou Stanfield sticks around as Breakley takes the ball in. And they're going to get an early start from Nathaniel Breakley there. Just powers his way over the line. And New York Athletic Club probably came into this tournament as one of the teams that you expected to be somewhat cannon fodder through the pool rounds, not meant to do much. But they've got some solid players out there, and they've looked good so far, going 1 for 1 so far and looking good here early on.
You know, Nyack is not normally known for having a particularly dominant sevens program, but this year they have quite a few players out there that know how to get the job done. Chris Chapman, he's been a fixture of Nyack for the past couple seasons. He has spent some time with the U.S. Eagles, with the Eagles 15, as well as getting an invite to the Sevens OTC. So they'll look to those two for a bit of, and Al McFarland for a bit of explosion, as well as Justin Pip Hundley, who's an excellent fixture for Nyack as well.
Yeah, little Pip, he's been around for a long time, former USA Sevens player. As he gets things restarted, goes down. Beautiful contest on the kickoff there. They pull it down, though. There looks like that was Burns gets the ball across. Now switches back around. A bit of ping pong going on there between both sides. Finally, it comes down, but the referee's going to pull that one up. Yeah, this Austin side also a very good side. A large contingent make up the touring squad of the El Azul, who recently went down to the Cancun Sevens, and they also play in the Serevi Sevens, which is coming up here shortly as well.
That'll be next week in Denver, and they'll look to have a good showing immediately following this tournament. So that'll be a challenge for them.
It certainly will. Penalty coming here for offside. Let's see if they go quickly. That's little Grubber. He takes the ball out to his right, moves it across. Nice little ball, but how about the big shoulder there from Sonny Bill Williams?
Al McFarland's not afraid to get a little contact, unfortunately.
Here's the hamster, Radzovic. I saw him stretch out last year in the Serevi tournament. We know him very well, Matt Radzovic. They call him the hamster, and he can move like a hamster in a wheel as he dots that one down under the post and brings this Austin side back level, 5-5 with Nyack.
Radzovic, a product of Texas State. Austin, born and bred. He's a fantastic rugby player out of America, so we got to root for him every chance we get.
Yeah, he is an absolute speedster. I remember catching up with him. He said his fastest time in the 100, he's not Carlin Isles, but he ran a 10.8, and I thought that was pretty impressive. I've done the 100 centimetres in about 10.8 once, but the 100 metres, that still eludes me. I don't think I've run 100 metres in about 5 years, actually, Lou.
Yeah, 100 metres isn't exactly the distance I'd go for either. 10 to 15, that sounds about right.
Sounds good. Usually I'll get in the car to go that far, but here we go. Austin, back to it. Nice kickoff. Now the sun's starting to play havoc here. You can see a lot of the players shielding their faces, and that's going to be a big situation as the day progresses here. But Nyack have done well to retain possession.
A lot of men in that breakdown, not exactly what you particularly see in sevens, and we got a little open space with Chris Chapman running up the sideline, fending off a couple of guys. He's a strong young player.
And Chapman does well. They bring it down. Comes out, Troy Hall. A guy we're all too familiar with, Troy Hall, the silky smooth skills of the Kiwi from Whakatane in New Zealand. He just drives that one over and gets another 5 points for Nyack.
Troy Hall, another seasoned vet. Played with him a few seasons. He's earned himself a few caps on the 15 side. And, I believe it was back in 2011 when Nyack won the Super League National Championship, or maybe 2012, when I think their best play was called win the line out, give the ball to Troy Hall. And that pretty much won him the game against Golden Gate at Golden Gate. So he's a fantastic player. If you want to look for some electrifying rugby experience, he's got everything in his toolbox.
He certainly does. Obviously just celebrated the birth of his first child, little Celeste. I know his wife Sarah is up here and Celeste supporting. And it's always good once you have kids to start playing rugby. It adds a little bit more motivation to your game. Here we go now. Nyack with the restart. Beautiful restart from Nyack as Sanchez pulls the ball down, gets it back to the try scorer, Breakley, and he's going to stride over for another one, Breakley. I tell you what, when Nyack have the ball, they look very dangerous.
You know, that was just a little too easy for Nyack. They won that restart, couple pairs of hands, and over the try line goes Breakley. He's a big man, so it's going to take a good shot in order to bring him down. And I'll tell you what, riding on the physicality of him and Alistair McFarlane, Big Al as they call him, from Sydney, Australia, I think they can go pretty far in this tournament. Let's see if they can get a bit more touches on the ball from them and maybe from some of the young speedsters and find some space, and I think Nyack will be in good position.
Yeah, Breakley, as you probably some of you may recognise, part of that dynamic Dartmouth squad that won the Sevens a few years ago and then spent some time over in the UK playing for Cambridge. So no stranger to some good rugby there, Breakley, and showing it here today with 2 tries already in the first half for Nyack.
That's a great thing we want to see out of our American rugby players, going from one strong program to continue their rugby overseas and to learn everything they can. Breakley's got a bright future. Hope to see him as a fixture in a lot of other national team settings.
Here we go. Ball gets restarted. Go back again. Austin having all sorts of trouble with the kickoffs. Another little stab through, and they'll call it up for the knock-on. It looks like we're going to pack a scrum. Still, though, Austin, another mistake off the kickoff and another opportunity here for Nyack deep inside Austin's half to put some more points on the board.
You know, not to be overly presumptuous, but that ball is on the ground, and you see everyone poking their feet at it, trying to pick it up. You know, sometimes the best thing to do is just dive on it. You know, it's going to take a little bit of heart, take a little bit of skin off your knees, but lets everyone know that that's how bad you want it.
Here we go now. Hundley, he feeds it back. Comes out Troy Hall. Look at him just waiting, trying to bait someone in. Oh, the loop doesn't work, though. Pass goes down to ground. It looks like it's picked up there by Konecki. Comes across.
McFarlane wanted that big hit. Good hands by the young Austin player.
Here we go. Austin, let's see what they can do. Konecki with the ball, moves it across. Look out for Radzovic again. He's a speedster. They don't give him the daylight he needs this time. They're up quickly on him. They drag him down.
You know, this Nyack defense hasn't seen too much action this half, but they're showing very well in this particular possession, keeping the Austin Blacks in their territory. But now they get into Nyack's territory. Let's see what they can do with it.
Here we go now. Comes through the 9 there. Mahoney, he takes it into contact. He's well met. Nyack have to be careful here, committing a lot of players near the breakdown. We know Radzovic's got speed. A few of the other players from Austin can motor as well. It comes out wide now. That looks like big Rick Darrow with the ball. He flicks it back inside.
The Austin Blacks have a little momentum here. Let's see if they can capitalize and put one into the try zone.
Chapman for Nyack. He gets on the ball in the 6 jersey. Turnover, not what Austin needed there. They come down to Sanchez. I'm just motioning him forward, telling him to go in. Sanchez, one of the players from Xavier, where was coached by current 15s head coach Mike Tolkien out there. So, again, you talked about strong programs filtering into strong programs. That's another example of that.
Absolutely. Xavier's had a wonderful program. Been around for quite some time, and they've produced a lot of great rugby players, including Mike Petrie. And there he goes, Breakley. He is off to the races. Let's see if he can finish it. A nice little pass in, and Pip Hundley dots it down.
How about big Breakley? It looks like the gas tank might be empty on the big unit. He scored 2 tries, had a couple of long runs. He was not looking forward to that 45-metre run when he got the ball and looked straight away for his faster, smaller, much fitter man, Justin Hundley there.
You know, I don't blame him. Sometimes the big fellas, they're not built for speed. They're built a little more for comfort.
That's not a bad thing. That's the beauty about rugby. All shapes and sizes get to play, and that takes us through to the break. Nyack leading 24 points to 7 over Austin. And Lou, obviously, both Nyack guys, so a little bit, we've got to play devil's advocate a little bit here for them, but they were pretty impressive in that first 40.
Yeah, they were very dominant as far as possession came. When they had the ball, they made sure they retained it. Austin, maybe a little sloppy with a few possessions there, but the last possession they had, they gained a lot of ground. They just had to make sure that they capitalize on that, and when they get into that deep territory, they got to come away with points. Can't afford to have possession that deep in territory and then afford to turn over the ball. It just doesn't work that way, and it gets to this level.
Yeah, 100%. Now, we've got you up here. It's obviously a special treat. It's not very often I get to hang out with Lou Stanfield. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. You're living in Seattle now, working for Serevi.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your role with Serevi and what you're doing.
I'm working with Serevi. We're gaining a little bit more popularity, and my position within it is to be a sales manager. So I'm going out, I'm making contacts, making relationships, hoping to get people involved. We have an excellent pipeline for players to understand what's it take to become a national team player. So we get the exposure from from a young age into what it's like to be a serious rugby player. So we have these young kids who are training, learning how to do things the proper way, hearing a fresh voice from a team that's not their team. So it's helping to kind of get that ball rolling into a professionalized setting. And then when it comes to a couple of older guys, we have a very professional setup in getting into the gym, training together, and training like a professional athlete does.
Well, whatever you're selling loose to Anfield, I'm buying. So let's give me 10 of them. As we rejoin the action now, as you see Big Al, as he's known, Al McFarlane powers it forward. Offload goes to ground. Sanchez goes back for it. There must be some soap on that ball. The player's having all sorts of trouble with it, but Sanchez has no trouble getting loose. Passes straight to an Austin player. Comes out to Konecki. He can't handle the ball. Cops a couple of knees to the back for his trouble. That could have hurt.
You know, that was the break that the Blacks needed in order to capitalize. And unfortunately, yeah, I think some of those players got into the kettle corn at halftime. Not the wise choice.
Yeah, I actually had a bit of kettle corn the other day. It's funny you should bring that up. That's good stuff. That's probably why I shouldn't play anymore, because I eat too much kettle corn. But
well, you know, there's worse snacks you can have.
There you go. Oh, now, Austin, the little grubber there. You got to love a little scrum half. Wouldn't give the ball up, even though he knows his team knocked it on, just to see if the referee totally forgot. But now Hundley with the ball, and look at that scrum from Nyack, just already showing its superiority and power. It's definitely a little bit smaller. You've got Darrow and Konecki for the Austin side, big boys. But good technique here from Nyack. Ball goes in. All
good
sorts of
scrum,
pressure.
well won.
Yeah, offside. He's got him there. They're going to go quick, though.
Chapman, a little too overzealous on that one, taking the tap behind the referee, and off goes Hundley. He's got himself a little space, some good skills, and away goes Sanchez.
Yeah, beautiful hands. And there's Breakley. He's still on the field, the big unit. Tries to beat one. Oh, Hundley. He's goose-stepped himself, little Pip, and he's lost the ball forward. It's going to come back, though. We've got time out here. Let's see what the referee, or we're making some substitutions. We're making some substitutions. It's starting to get a little warm here, Lou.
Yeah, you know, when that heat plays up, especially on this pitch, even though we're in Seattle, not very well known for warm weather. In the summer days, it'll go upwards of 90 degrees, and that pill does not get any tackier when that sweat comes out. So these players are going to have to face a very wet ball and see how they cope with that.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, it's on the artificial turf too. That thing heats up pretty quickly. Those black rubber pellets underneath and get quite warm and hold that heat. And you were down in the dunk tank a little earlier, raising some money down there for the area. And obviously, it might be a good idea. Some of these Austin and Nike players might be joining you down there to cool off after this game.
You know, we're thinking about dumping a little ice in there. I think that'll attract more players in order to get that recovery going. And it's for an excellent cause. All the money, all the proceeds go to boys and girls clubs in King County. And away goes Troy Hall, putting away his counterpart.
Oh, Granby. Beautiful stuff from him. And there you go. We talk about the influence of Hall again. I actually like the lead-up work from Chapman. One of the things that Troy Hall does best is create space for his outside man. He's got very, very good footwork, very strong hips, very shifty. So what the best thing is, you said, win the line out and give it to Troy, and it almost sounds like a joke, but it's true. If you give him space, he can make things happen, and he did so there for his outside man, Granby.
Very hard to argue with such a veteran player. Troy Hall played all of his rugby as an adolescent in New Zealand. You know, building that fundamentals, that foundation. He has it all. He has tools in his toolbox, and he is not afraid to use any of them. And so he is a major asset to have on any team he goes to.
Yeah, he certainly is. And he's actually based over on the West Coast now, playing for an East Coast team in the Sevens. He's down in Portland doing amazing things with the Oregon Rugby Foundation down there, building youth rugby in Oregon. So big shout out. He's here coaching a high school team as well in the high school division. So a man wearing many caps here this weekend.
Absolutely. He's a wonderful member of the USA Rugby community, and we're happy to have him.
Definitely is. And there we go. Nyack getting restarted now. Ball comes down. Let's see what Austin can do here. Grubber goes through, beats a few tackles, almost loses the ball. Darrow, he'll pull across. Oh, he's past to nobody, the big unit, and it comes down. Referee says play on though. Intercepted though. Looks like McFarlane's got the ball. There's numbers out to the left if they can move it. Chapman, nope, he's got him there, not rolling away. It looked like trouble too. Nyack had some numbers out to the right, to the left, sorry. But Grubber from Austin, he'll go quickly. Takes a tap.
Nyack really wanted that ball. They should stay on their feet in order to get it. Nice hit by Al McFarlane right there.
Yeah, great hit from McFarlane. He definitely isn't afraid of contact, the big fella.
No, he'll throw his shoulder into a tackle situation, and he won't think twice about it, and that's a great thing about him. He's a big man, not afraid to do big things.
Here we go. It's the ball versus Radzovic. The bounce. Favorable. Oh, he steps on the paint.
Unlucky for Radzovic. The speedster surely would have been away, but you know that line isn't too wide, and his tiptoes just couldn't quite get it. So unlucky for the Blacks. That was a break they certainly could have needed to help them out with a little momentum in the second half. Let's see how they respond from this defensive line out.
Yeah, the hamster, he was all over that sideline. Unfortunately, couldn't keep his feet in play, but how about the speed of the man? Radzovic, he has got a big engine, hasn't he?
Certainly. He's got some pace to him. You know, we talk about guys like Carlin Isles in the USA, and, you know, Radzovic playing his sevens here for the Blacks, and I'm sure he gets involved with a bit of 15s, and that type of speed is obviously important in sevens, but when it comes to 15s, that's a major skill to have. If you have that in your toolbox, a speedster on the outside, if you have the ability to put him away, he is worth his weight in gold.
Yeah, a few changes coming on now for this Nyack side as Gibbs, he takes it out now. That looks like the 7 again, Granby. He's got some speed. Does he get himself free? He is free. It's a foot race now. He hasn't got much support coming inside. He may not need it, Granby. He's gone straight past the sweeper. Oh, he's home for your team, honey, big Granby. He gets his second in the second half here and extends that lead out even further. 36 points to 7 for Nyack over Austin.
Jody Reyes made a gamble on that play. Unfortunately, that gamble did not pay off. As you see, he darts in and tries to intercept a pass that he was betting that would have been made, and that's all you have to do is the show and go. Not too hard to beat, and he gets the job done.
Yeah, Austin, they're going to have to try something at this point. 36 points to 7, just 45 seconds left on the clock here as it winds down. And I've been pretty impressed with this Nyack outfit. I've noticed in the majority of the in the men's bracket, we've had some pretty close games. The women's, we've already seen some of the better sides have stood up, and you get an idea of who's going to be the favourites. But on the men's, most of the games have been pretty tight. We saw the Barbarians with a tight win over Santa Monica, but Nyack have really blown it out here.
You know, it's a pretty short game, 14 minutes, 36 points. That's quite impressive. Nyack has a lot of tools to get the job done. Let's see if they can keep the pedal down for the rest of the day. But for right now, I think it's safe to say that they got this one won.
Yeah, we're going to pack a scrum, and I don't think you'll see many of the boys in red rushing to this as time's about to expire. Just 4 seconds left on the clock. And just take us through the end here. One more play. The referee's going to let this one go out. Let's see what they've got. They've made some big replacements, which is very wise from Nyack. Obviously, they're 2-0 in pool play. They're probably expecting to go through to the finals tomorrow, and they're just going to kick it out.
Smart play there. Smart play there. You got to get it out. Don't want to mess around. Keep playing rugby. You don't need to play. Nyack showing their superiority when it comes to skills, tactics, and everything rugby in this game. Very impressive to see them put away the Blacks like that. I think they're a real contender in this tournament, and you know, see how they get out of pool play and continue to see if they keep this this dominance up.
Yeah, that's right. 36 points to 7, the final score here. We're going to take a little break. When we get back, the Atlanta All White will be taking on the Chicago Lions. Don't go away.